you do not like being recorded, you may want to consider turning off your camera during the session and reviewing the recording afterwards. The recordings will be made available on YouTube and shared on iTeach808's website a week after the event. Without further ado, I will turn it over to Derrick Lee.
Thank you, Maddie. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cybersecurity 101. In this session, we'll just go over some basic tips and tricks that you can use to keep yourself safe while being online. There's been a lot of data breaches and a lot of hacks and things going on we hear about in the news. And hopefully through this session, I'll be able to, if not, try to prepare you a little bit more as you enter into the world of the internet and everything. It's been out for a while, but we still get there's still attacks and there's still issues out there. So who am I? I'm the Sacred Hearts IT person. I oversee a lot of tech needs for students and teachers here. I manage a lot of the online activities, live streaming, most recently due to the pandemic. We manage the websites and just general tech troubleshooting. We try to keep, we have a lot of systems in place to protect the students and teachers, but there's only so much that we can do on our end. If you as the individual keep going to these questionable sites, and there's not much we can really do to stop you. But if you do get strange emails or things like that, hopefully through today's presentation, we can better prepare you to recognize what is a scam and what isn't. So landscape is always changing in the world of tech. Definitely with the pandemic, a lot of us moved from the workspace to the internet at home, working from home. So definitely classrooms have moved from the school to home. So a lot of things keep changing. Having a secure network at home is a lot different from what you have at work. At work, we maintain it. We make sure things are up to date and there's a certain level and standard. At home, it's run by you. So I'm not really sure if many of you have passwords on your routers or even a network password for your Wi-Fi. So these are just different things that you can do as an individual to help secure your own network from other people. Usually stressful times create a lot of opportunities for bad actors to cause harm. We see a lot of scams, things that come up after, say, like big natural disasters or even pandemics. For example, like the pandemic, a lot of people put up a lot of scams, and it's hard because there's a lot of things that make us question or kind of pull on our feelings and our heartstrings to help or give information that we really shouldn't. Well, also, and moving forward, eventually when we get out of this pandemic, but our reliance on technology has been growing increasingly as we go into the future. So things like remote work and learning will most likely increase as we get into the future, and it may be more or less like part of the future. A lot of college courses are online only, so it gives people, I guess, the convenience of just learning at home. But again, it also increases depending on the security you have at home, how safe it is to just kind of log in. Sorry, my thoughts are a little jumbled. I'll try to organize them. So notable security breaches from 2011, such as in April, a Facebook dump of a lot of users, 550 million were published online, IDs, logs. We hear about these a lot. And if you do have these, if you do have accounts at these companies that have breaches, I really, really do suggest that even if your name wasn't released or breached, still go back and change your password, do things to secure it. Other notable breaches, T-Mobile in August. And December, I know we heard about it here on the local news, Kronos, a online HR platform, became a victim of a ransomware attack. Luckily, a lot of companies switched away from Kronos, or so we kind of dodged the bullet on that one. So just general tips for securing your devices, things that we can do ourselves for any of our devices, our phones, our computers, our network devices, just strong passwords. Typically, the longer the password, the harder it is to brute force or break through. Ideally, most people recommend 8 to 10 characters. If you do have a phrase or even say like a song lyric that you could just type and you remember, something that's really long is very hard for computers to basically just kind of brute force and get through. It's a lot more combinations they have to go through to try to break through your account. Things you would update passwords on different devices, home Wi-Fi, your phones. General tips in the security world, you kind of want to update your password if you really want to be secure, like at least once a month, something different. There are settings on your computer devices that you can do to remind you or have an expiring password, so it forces you to do that. But if it's really bad, or if you're really lazy, I'm kind of guilty of it sometimes. Just every couple of months, maybe just change it up. Another thing I'll consider that you should consider using is a two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication just means when you log into your account, it will send a code or some kind of verification to a second device that generally you would have in possession to confirm that, hey, it is me, I am logging in. Because even if your password is lost, if somebody has compromised your account information and your password, you still own the second device. So they still need to send a code to that device in order to confirm. So if you do get a code like, hey, someone's trying to log in, you could just say no. So that's one way to shut people out. A lot of what it comes down to in security is just common sense things. What really I'm going to emphasize in this presentation is to stop, look, and think before you do anything. So just think before you click any unknown link sent to you. Generally, spam or phishing attacks, they usually ask you for sensitive information. So if they're asking you for like your name, date of birth, these kinds of information, things that you would need to put on a secure form. Just kind of stop, look, and just think about what's happening, because typically these attacks attack on your feelings. And if you're confused, you're feeling scared or pressed for this information, like you just forget about all these security walls you build up and you just kind of give the information. I like this quote: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's much easier to prevent these attacks than it is to fix them. Because once an attacker gets in, installs something, then your device is compromised, and it's a lot harder to get that software or just fix it either as well. Okay. Common types of attacks are definitely social engineering. Phishing emails, they tend to create a sense of urgency, try to make you make a bad decision. Just try to recognize them. I'll have some examples coming up. but it could just be subtle as just uneasy feelings or just obvious signs when you just kind of read it. You don't have to click on any links. You just have to, if it makes you feel kind of weird, like it's pressing you to do something with urgency, that's kind of a red flag. Phishing typically is just similar to phishing, but it's just voice based instead of email. So in this example, this fraudster kind of just pretends to call a bank, and the victim not pretending to be the bank, and this victim doesn't know. We hear about these on the news, like the electric company will call you asking you for money or pay your bill, or the water company, even though they don't really do that. But people are scared. They don't want to lose their water or their electricity, so they'll just oh, okay, I'll just pay the bill now, or I'll just give you my credit card information. They can just do it over the phone. And once they do that, then the fraudster, they have your information, and then they can just charge you. Again, it's much easier to just recognize this attack and then just shut it down, as opposed to once your information is out there, you have to call the credit card company, cancel your card, possibly monitor your credit if you gave them any additional information. Depending on what you give them, they could possibly open up a brand new card under your name, and you wouldn't even know it. This is a nice example of a fraudulent email. Feel free to chime in if you guys notice, if you guys ever get emails like this. Sometimes they have this nice, very official logo, and it's this here, if you kind of read it, writing to inform you invalid login attempts. They want you to begin your account verification, and it says failed to update to your account, and you'll have to reestablish it. So again, it's pressing you to, hey, click on this link. Please respond, otherwise, this will happen to you. Maybe you're not part of this bank. Maybe you do have an account on this bank. Other things you can look out for would be misspellings. Bank of Americans. I don't know of any bank called that. Also, one trick, you could hover over the link here, and you could actually see the actual URL that it's going to redirect you to. If it doesn't look right, like it doesn't redirect you to the actual website of the bank, then obviously it's fake, and you can just delete this email. A lot of these targeted emails are sent by bots, and they're unless not necessarily specifically targeted to you, they have your email, so they just send out random emails, and pretty much just they're hoping to get as many people to click on this link as possible. I mean, probably 80% of you will recognize it and then delete it, but there's always that small percentage that get tricked and click it. Another example of a fraudulent email, you can tell by misspellings here in the header. They ask you to review your information. American Express, like any icons can be copied and put into emails, but it's always important to just stop, just kind of look at the information and just kind of think about what's going on. Another example, PayPal. Usually the biggest teller is misspellings. There's a lot of things. Second thing I usually look for is definitely the email. So this does not look like it. This is the name of the sender. Typically it's someone's name here at this part. And the second part is the actual email it came from. As you can see, they don't really match up. So that would be one red flag. Other red flags would be just misspelling, that's not spelled PayPal. Also misspellings and possibly in the email itself. Sometimes it is I mean, if these do match up and it is a warning, you don't have to always click on the link in the email. You could always just go to PayPal's website and kind of double check and verify that some kind of issue went out and they contacted you via email. So again, a little bit of doing your own research there. I'm not sure if a lot of you ever gotten these, but it's, since we're on our phones a lot more, a lot of text messages come out, people sending texts. It's harder to verify the link there, but sometimes it does happen. I've had a colleague who was expecting an email from somebody, and then he clicked on a link and it took him to this website and he had to enter his information. When he told me about it, I told him he might have been hacked, because that doesn't sound right. But he was expecting an email from this individual. Unfortunately, that individual got hacked, and then from his account, it was sending out fraudulent information. So that was definitely fun to deal with. The question here, is it important to mark spam emails as report spam, or just deleting it is okay? Depending on your email service, if you mark it as spam, the AI behind your email, whether it's Gmail or Outlook, they'll look out for more of these. They have an algorithm, so they'll kind of learn from things that you mark as spam, and they'll recognize it as spam. So they'll just put it right into your spam folder. Typically, sometimes a legitimate email does get thrown in there, but it's good to check every once in a while. So yeah, so if you just mark it as spam, it's just for the web server to learn, and basically any new emails similar to the one you marked as spam, it'll just put it into your spam folder so it doesn't clog up your inbox. You can just delete it. It's fine. It's not a big deal, since it's just spam. You don't need to look at it or read it. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so these voice or text messages, sometimes you get these. If the link looks fishy, such as something like this, it doesn't go to any FedEx or website in it, I would definitely just ignore it. Sorry, second question, Getsy, it pops up, brings up PDF. Getsy, I'm not familiar about Getsy. That looks like an app, so interesting. And it says something like, "Can change your Google info." A lot of devices, they use something called single sign-on. So you don't have to create an account with the actual program. So for example, Zoom, you can create a Zoom account using your Google email. Or if you sign into Zoom on the bottom, if you already have a Google account, you can just click Google and then just sign in through there. It's a single sign-on. It just kind of securely verifies with Google that Google will tell Zoom, hey, this is a valid account. Can I also create an account using their credentials? And Zoom will just say, yeah, sure, that's fine. But it verifies through Google. As for Getsy, is there a way to use apps without using my Google account to open others? It's possible. With single sign-on, you would have to use your Google, but if you choose to use other accounts, or you could just create an individual account on that particular program, you can do that too. You don't necessarily need to use your Google email. Typically, they take typically they just need an email registration for that. I hope that answers your question. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with Getsy. So again, common sense is kind of the key phrase. Poor spelling, grammar usually indicate that it's some type of attack, hover over the links if possible, and just be aware if it's too good to be true, just unrealistic threats and promises. Just kind of be aware that this might not be legitimate. So typically, hackers are just after your information, usernames, passwords, credit card details. So whenever you download something that prompts you for your username or password to open, so I say it's an attachment, and to open it, you need to log into your something or other. Just you need to stop, kind of look, and kind of think like what's going on. Again, with the same my coworker, his name is Rodney. He opened up that fraudulent thing, and it was kind of a pain, but we had to suspend his account, reset his password and everything, and just set up some two-factor authentication just to re-secure it again. Luckily, the hacker didn't get a chance to set up too many things, but we were able to recover his account. So hopefully, unfortunately for him, his friend got hacked, and he thought his friend was secure. So again, these things happen. I'm not sure if any of you used Facebook and you've had a friend that was hacked, and they just sent you some weird message. Hey, click on this link, and you can make money or buy these things. It's kind of a weird, out of the blue thing. So typically, their account got hacked. So you just kind of have to be careful. So another form of attack that's pretty common would be called pretexting. So usually it's a form of a phone call. They just make up a scenario like, "Oh, hey, my name is so and so. I know your son, daughter," and then maybe they'll say their name. They're in trouble, or I'm not sure if any of you heard the stories of people calling. They find out that their granddaughter or grandson, say they're vacationing in Mexico or something, and they put it on their Facebook. It's all over their feed, and somebody who's actually watching, maybe they call the grandmother, say, "Oh, I'm calling from Mexico. They got in trouble. Please send us money. Otherwise, they're going to be in prison." And the grandparents, they love their grandkids, so they're obviously they're scared. They go, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah." So maybe it's a small amount, a few $100s. They go to like a Western Union and then send it out. So that's pretty much what pretexting is. They try to get familiar with you, and they want you to take an action, give information, or even just send money. Just don't give them any information. You really need to confirm, because a lot of things they mention, maybe a name they drop, it could just be public knowledge. Another form would be someone's calling a business, like, "Hey," like a lot of businesses list their employee names. You could say, "Oh, I'm calling for so and so. I know this person." And just because they drop their name doesn't necessarily mean they know them. So we kind of have to be just a little bit skeptical. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's just good to keep our guard up. Again, a lot of information on social media. Advent of spoofing, which is really, spoofing is just faking, or pretty much like I could create a fake website that looks exactly like the bank website. If I really wanted to take it a step up, I would send you a spam email saying, "Oh, your bank account got attacked. Please click here." Say you even click the link, I could make a fake website that looks exactly like the bank's website, and then you could try to log in and everything. Just don't assume that everything's safe. If anyone asks you to take an action, again, via message or other platform, that's also another red flag. If you're unsure about a website, I believe there is let's see. There is another website. This is ssl.org. In the chat there. I believe you can check the legitimacy. A lot of sites have to verify their security certificates there. As my other coworker offered that. Again, with a lot of disinformation, they try to tug at your heartstrings, make you feel, create a general sense of urgency or feelings inside you, kind of overrides the logic or the thinking part of your brain. But just, you got to make sure you verify everything you read and just try to fact check before you take any action that might lead you down the wrong path. So is there anything I can do? It's a lot of scary things out there. It's not too bad. Usually, again, scammers, con artists, they're just trying to scare you. They want you to do something that will benefit them. Nowadays, it's click on this link or just give them sensitive information. These techniques have become very effective in times of uncertainty, especially now. Then again, you can say anytime, because there are lots of times in life you're definitely uncertain about a lot of things. But that's okay. Just take a breath. It's fine. Just kind of read it. Look, think, stop, look, and then just think about it before you act on anything. Yeah, natural disasters, pandemics, other extreme events can create these situations, and there's no short list of people that won't try to take advantage of you. Of course, yeah, anything seems suspicious, just stop, look, and think before you take any action, before you just run out there and go, oh, okay, yeah. So just really, it's just patience, and just that's it. And it's not really too bad, but hopefully things that I've shared with you today are helpful, and it'll help you keep a lookout in the future. And that's pretty much it. I hope I answered anyone's questions pretty well. Does anyone else have any additional questions? Chat or otherwise?
I looked at that ssl.org. Is that SSL? And did you say that that's a site where you can check if it's okay or
Thank you
not?
everyone for joining. I want to thank iTeach808 and Laurel for holding this. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you do have any additional questions, I can put my email here in the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, that site just, so what you can do is you put in ssl.org. What you can do is put in a website you're not sure of into it, such as like facebook.com or Google. And what it does, it checks the security certificate of it to make sure that it's a legitimate site. So if you're not sure, say a site looks very, okay, maybe that's not the one.
It's a picture of guns.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry, this is the actual website. I'm just kind of going off memory. That's my email if anyone has any additional questions. Sorry about that. I was just kind of going off memory. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are better prepared in the future for any attacks, because they'll come from anywhere. Your phone, your social media, your email, but you just have to be aware of them. and you'll be fine. It's not too bad. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I think.
Do we have any more questions for Derrick? Maybe not at this time. I know it's a lot to take in, but thank you so much, Derrick, and for everyone's participation. We hope that you found this session helpful and you are able to make some valuable connections. Please help us to complete the survey on the iTeach808 website, and I will attach it below right now onto the chat. So the survey will also be sent to the email that you used to register with. So please double check your spam folder for an email from iTeach808hawaii@gmail.com. You will be entered to win one of $25 Target gift cards if you do complete the survey by February 4th. So thank you so much for being here today and thank you for joining all of our sessions today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Derrick. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.